Alright, so we've got the iPod Nano 5th generation, and this one happens to be the product red. So as you know, 10% of the money spent on the device actually goes to charity, the charity product red. This is actually John's iPod. I haven't actually purchased this one. I have the old kind of what's been termed the iPod Fatty because it's kind of low profile and short. So I've had a chance to play around with the iPod 5th generation. As you know, the main thing about this is it's wider screen and the camera featured on the back. Was slightly impressed, but I mean, from having been an iPod user for several years now, it almost felt like this is kind of a step towards something else, because to me it doesn't feel like a fully finished product. I'll show you what I mean. So I'll take the hold switch off and then I'll take you to the music. I mean, this menu was available with the original kind of iPod Fatty up to this generation now. So obviously you're scrolling along, you can see the album artwork, you can see icons for everything. There's no photos on this. You can have videos obviously because it's the new generation, and you can record videos and obviously upload videos. The only new things with this iPod itself are the fact that it has a radio built in, which is pretty cool. So scroll to that, the scroll wheel, not very sensitive. So it has a radio, and as everybody knows, it has a video camera. I think it's VGA quality, so 640 by 480. Obviously some extras like the games. There we go. So alarm, calendar, clock, contacts, fitness, which is the Nike fitness kind of program that Apple runs. Games, notes, screen lock, voice memos, and stopwatch. Obviously you can do voice memos by plugging in the headphones, and with the little jack on the headphones you can actually speak into it. Nothing too special about that. I mean, it's interesting, and I know it's kind of the way to go forward, because it's trying to combat Flip HD and obviously the Flip Minnow, because it's one of those devices you can just carry around and record video anywhere. But the fact that I have a camera on my iPhone, and I have obviously 16 gig of memory, and it can record pretty well. It can also store more music than this device. Obviously there's a 16 gigabyte model, but it's not compelling enough for me to want to spend, I think it's a lot, $150, $160 off the top of my head. It's nice, and it's obviously very, very slim and kind of low profile, and it has a kind of shiny embossed metallic feel to it, and obviously look to it as well. You can see there very deep rich colours, which is one of the things that Apple always touts, the fact that they've got the colours perfect, which seems to happen every single time. But I have to agree with them, it is very nice on this occasion. As you can see here as well, it has an accelerometer, so when I flip to the side, it's going to show me album artwork. And you see that I actually tried to do multi-touch because I'm so used to it. It's not multi-touch, you have to use the scroll wheel, which would be nice, but obviously the screen's a little bit too small for it to be kind of very, very useful. So we'll go back, click the menu, almost dropped it. We'll go to video camera because I know that's what everyone wants to see. So we'll just line up a few things here. Line up the Kindle and the iPhone with fingerprints all over it. We'll click video camera, and as you can see there, hopefully, I'll tilt the camera up a little bit. You can see that the quality isn't too blurry, so I can kind of move it quickly and it doesn't get too blurry. And you can see good detail, and it's good in strong lighting. As you can see here, I've got kind of some spotlights on the actual camera itself, but in kind of normal or dark light, I've seen other reviews that say it's not very good, and obviously not having been able to try it out in dark, I can't comment on that, but there are plenty of other YouTube videos that you can actually see that show you. And I mean, in fact, John has actually done a video comparison, and you can see for yourself how that video is. But it's a nice little feature, and obviously it's nice to have that with your iPod in case you need to kind of record anything whilst, say for example, you're on a train or you're with your friends skateboarding, whatever. So we'll go back. But to be honest, that really is the only additional feature that gets me excited about this. Obviously it has an accelerometer in, so kind of with Nike Plus you don't need to have the extra dongle in your shoe. You can just have this in your pocket, it'll be bouncing up and down as if you're walking. Other than that, there's nothing that really gets me that excited about this device. It's nice, the screen's rich, the screen's kind of, with the accelerometer it makes it interesting to use, and obviously the the images load much quicker than the old devices, so there's no kind of question marks there, which is nice. But to be honest, it feels like an evolution in device rather than a revolutionary device, which there's nothing wrong with that. And for the price, they keep dropping the price, which is brilliant. And obviously, hardware in terms of kind of build quality is unmatched. I mean, where do you get an MP3 player that's this skinny and that feels this sturdy and kind of that has this sort of functionality? So in that regard, very happy with it. The only issue I have is the fact that I have an iPhone 3GS, so there is no compelling reason for me to buy the iPod Nano. And obviously they're targeting this kind of at users that either A, just full stop don't have an iPhone, or B, have an iPhone but would also like an MP3 player, because obviously you can't always play music on this phone because you want it to have as much battery life as possible, and by continually using it for music it's going to drain the battery. So if you have a dedicated device, that's more useful than having a dead battery. So overall, pretty impressed with this. So I'll give it kind of an 8 out of 10. But as I said, it does feel like it's more of a few steps forward as opposed to a giant leap. But I do love the fact that it has a camera, because as I say, if you haven't got an iPhone, it's perfect to kind of carry around. And this is a video camera and an MP3 player, and the radio, along with whatever else, obviously with the accelerometer, so kind of a fitness piece of kit as well. Very impressive for such a small form factor, and obviously the battery life as well. I think the next version of the iPod will be very exciting to see kind of what they come up with and how they advance the technology. Hopefully improving the camera on the back, perhaps adding a light, a kind of flash, but I don't think that'll happen. Hopefully just improving the camera itself, and kind of taking the technology to that next level, maybe even more storage. Just a full screen perhaps with no scroll wheel where it's all multi-touch. That would be very interesting, to kind of get rid of the scroll wheel and just put the whole screen there. That I'd like to see. So that's my overall review, kind of first impressions of the iPod Nano 5th generation. As usual, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. My Twitter account is in the sidebar, linked in the sidebar, so you can also tweet me any questions. So I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.